Here is the full story translated into natural American English without skipping or losing a single moment, detail, or line from the original. The sun was already a hammer at 8:17 a.m., 95 degrees, and climbing the kind of May morning in Austin that makes the asphalt breathe heat waves. I stood on the drag Guadalupe Street right across from the University of Texas campus in my black polyester gown that felt like a trash bag left in a microwave. The mortarboard kept sliding off my sweaty hair no matter how many bobby pins I stabbed into it. Orange and white balloons bobbed above a sea of proud parents in the west parking lot, Range Rovers, and lifted Silverados idling with the A, divided by C blasting. Kids were crying, moms were crying, somebody's dad was definitely already day drinking, Topo Chico, hard seltzer. Graduation day, supposed to be the happiest morning of my life. I was holding a crumpled transfer slip for the 803 bus. My phone buzzed with a new TikTok notification. I knew what it was before I even opened it. Mom had tagged me out of obligation, probably so the video popped right up on my For You page. There she was, Madison Harper, my 18-year-old sister, squealing in our driveway up in Westlake Hills. The camera panned slow and dramatic across a brand new Tesla Model Y Performance wrapped in rose gold chrome with a custom pastel pink interior. A 2-story red bow sat on the hood like the car had just won the Kentucky Derby. Dad, Grant Harper, king of flipping $6 million homes in the hills, was grinning so hard his Botox was losing the fight. Mom's syrupy sorority president drawl narrated over a trending Lana Del Rey sound. Surprise for our high school graduate Maddie, worked so hard this year, straight B's y'all, and we are just the proudest parents in the world. Number best daughter ever. Number Tesla family. Number hook 'em from the driver's seat. Maddie jumped up and down in her white sundress and new Louboutins, throwing her arms around Mom while Dad dangled the key fob like it was the One Ring. The caption had 400 fire emojis and counting. I zoomed in on Mom's face. Real tears. Actual happy tears rolling down her cheeks, the same cheeks that had never once cried for me. The bus hissed to a stop in front of me, brake squealing like it too was exhausted from this city's bullshit. Route 803 North Lamar to South Congress. The doors folded open, the driver didn't even look up. I swiped my student pass, still active for one more day thank God, and climbed the steps. The interior smelled like old fries and spilled boba. Someone's dried peach tea had fused to the seat in front of me in a sticky constellation. I dropped into a window seat, the vinyl hot enough to brand my thighs through the gown. As the bus lurched forward, I looked back toward campus one last time. A girl in my marketing cohort was getting lifted into the air by her 2 brothers while her parents filmed it vertical for Instagram. Another dad had climbed onto the bed of his F-150 with a Longhorn flag like it was the goddamn Super Bowl. Then I looked the other direction, southwest up toward the hills where the mansions hide behind oak trees and security gates. Even from 6 miles away, I swear I could feel the bass from whatever playlist they were blasting while they took family photos around that stupid pink Tesla. The bus rolled past 26th Street, past the sorority houses flying their letters, past the lines at Kirby Lane Cafe. Every stop more kids in caps and gowns climbed off into waiting arms. None of them looked like me. None of them were clutching a transfer slip and praying the A divided by C held out. I rested my forehead against the smudged window. The reflection staring back looked like a stranger's sunburned cheeks, dark circles I'd been carrying since sophomore year, eyes that had learned way too early how to shut off hope so it couldn't be taken away. My family hadn't even asked how I was getting to the Frank Irwin Center that morning. Not a text. Not a "be safe, honey." Just radio silence and a TikTok that already had 870,000 likes. The bus hit a pothole and my tassel smacked me in the face. I whispered it so quietly, the driver couldn't hear, so quietly, only the universe and I made the contract. One day y'all are gonna have to drive hours across this state just to see my name in lights. And I won't even be waiting at the curb. Screen cuts to black. White text fades in, slow and deliberate. This is how I made that happen. Westlake Hills isn't a neighborhood, it's a flex. 6 bedrooms, 6.5 baths, negative edge pool that drops off into a view of downtown Austin, twinkling like it owes you money. From the street, you can't even see the house. There's a limestone wall, electric gates, and 2 live oaks older than Texas itself guarding the driveway like bouncers at an exclusive club. Inside, the foyer has a chandelier the size of a Subaru and a smell that's equal parts new money and vanilla diffuser plugs. Every wall is a shrine to Madison Harper. Left of the front door, 20x30 canvas of Maddie at 7, gap-toothed and blonde, riding western at the Travis County Youth Show. Right wall, a triptych from her debutante presentation, white dress, white gloves, white smile that cost more in orthodontia than most people's cars. Staircase gallery cheer action shots homecoming court the night she was crowned Miss Teen Hill Country in a borrowed gown that still got its own framed 8x10. There's even a neon sign above the kitchen island that says Maddie's Kitchen in bubblegum pink cursive. Mom ordered it off Etsy for $1.200 because it just felt right. My photos won. A 4x6 from when I was 8 taken at the same rodeo where Maddie won grand champion. I'm standing half a step behind her sunburned holding a melting snow cone wearing a hand-me-down Longhorns T2 sizes too big. The frame is from Walmart. It lives on the bottom shelf of the built-in bookcase, mostly hidden by a stack of Southern Living magazines nobody reads. Dad Grant Harper built half the mansions up here. Harper Custom Homes. His company logo is on every job site sign from Bee Cave to Lakeway. He loves to drop this line at dinner parties while swirling a glass of something that costs more per bottle than my monthly grocery budget. Money likes pretty things. Pretty things make more money. Simple math. Maddie is the prettiest thing he ever invested in. By age 10 she had private tumbling lessons, voice coaching, a $4,000 American Darling saddle and a standing appointment with the best Invisalign guy in Central Texas. Age 12 cheer camp at SMU. 14 a leased Palomino gelding named Champagne Dreams boarded at a barn that smells like essential oils and privilege. 16 the sweetest 16 party at the Driscoll with a surprise appearance by a country singer who was big on TikTok that month. 18 the Tesla we all saw coming. Me, I learned real early that I wasn't the pretty thing. I was the reliable thing. The low maintenance thing. The Riley will figure it out thing. 8th grade was when the allowance stopped. Mom sat me down at the kitchen island under Maddie's neon sign and said, "Sweetheart, your dad and I have decided it's time you learn financial responsibility. Madison still has activities and competitions, so her budget is different." Translation: Maddie got $500 a week for gas and incidentals. I got a smile and a suggestion to ask the neighbors if they need a dog walker. So, I woke up at 4:30 every morning to ride my bike, no car, no license yet, to Krispy Kreme on Bee Cave Road. The manager let me take the day-old donuts and sell them door to door in the neighborhood before school. I'd come home with icing in my hair and $47 in crumpled singles. Dad would pat me on the back and say, "That's the hustle, kiddo," like he was proud, then hand Maddie a black Amex for new cheer shoes. Sophomore year I started babysitting. Rich people in Westlake will pay $22 an hour cash to someone who can keep their toddlers alive and won't post the inside of their house on Snapchat. I got really good at it. I could change a diaper, microwave organic mac and cheese, and finish my AP Calc homework before the parents stumbled in from dinner at Uchi. On weekends I printed bootleg Longhorns shirts in the garage, burnt orange, comfort colors I bought wholesale off Alibaba, then used the Cricut I saved 6 months to buy. Sold them for $35 each outside Darrell K. Royal Stadium on game days. Froze my ass off, made bank, came home smelling like vinyl and beer someone else spilled. Mom would wrinkle her nose. "Riley, honey, why don't you let us buy you some nice things? You don't have to work so hard." Translation: stop embarrassing us by looking like you need money. I tried once freshman year to ask for something just for me. I'd been accepted into a summer entrepreneurship program at UT that cost $3,800. I printed the acceptance letter, highlighted the part about top 5% of applicants nationwide, and left it on Dad's desk, next to his Yeti full of bourbon. He called me in after dinner. "Riley, this is impressive," he said, tapping the paper. "Really? But we're already stretched thin with Maddie's national cheer finals in Orlando. Flights, hotel, new uniform, you understand." I understood. I worked doubles at the pool club snack bar that summer instead. Served Whataburger taquitos to kids who called me ma'am and left me pennies for tips. Saved every dollar. Paid my own way into a cheaper online course and taught myself Shopify in the lifeguard break room between whistle blows. The message was clear before I even had the words for it. Maddie was the investment. I was the expense that had already been written off. By 17 I had a spreadsheet titled College or Bust. Every shift, every custom shirt, every dog walked went into it. I knew exactly how many hours I needed to work to cover tuition, housing, books, food. I knew because nobody else was going to do the math for me. And every night I fell asleep in my bedroom, the smallest one above the garage, no view, listening to Maddie and Mom laughing downstairs over some new TikTok dance they were learning for her account that already had 180K followers. I'd stare at the ceiling and remind myself. One day, this house won't be big enough to hold what I'm building. One day, they'll wish they'd bought stock in me. 2:14 a.m., 6th floor of the Perry Castaneda Library. The PCL had been closed to regular students hours ago, but I had a master key because I worked night security. The whole floor was nothing but harsh fluorescent light and the death rattle hum of the AC. On the table 4 empty Red Bull coffees, a peanut butter sandwich that had gone hard as a rock, and a laptop racing toward a capstone deadline. My eyes were bloodshot, hair tied up with a shredded scrunchie. I was still wearing my Navy security hoodie over a Starbucks uniform that reeked of burnt oat milk. I knew I shouldn't call, but I did anyway. Mom picked up on the first ring. The screen lit up Riley Harper, fresh blonde highlights, Chanel sunglasses perched on her head even though it was the middle of the night. Behind her the blinding lights of the Domain, Austin's most expensive outdoor mall. I spotted Sephora signs, Louis Vuitton, and an orange Tesla shopping bag peeking into frame. "Riley, honey. Why are you calling so late?" Her voice was still that syrupy Texas honey drawl, but laced with a touch of panic at being caught shopping at midnight. "Mom. I finished finals." My voice was hoarse from no sleep. Only graduation left on the 18th. 9 a.m. at the Frank Irwin Center. I left 6 tickets at home last month. In the orange envelope on the fridge. "Y'all are coming, right?" Mom smiled, that smile 1,000 TikTok followers call the Southern sweetheart smile. "Oh baby, we're at the Domain right now. Maddie needs a few more outfits for her graduation trip to Cabo. She wants matching sets with the girls, and the new bikinis sold out everywhere. I'm on the hunt." I swallowed hard. "Mom. I'm asking about the 18th. Maddie's voice shrieked off camera. "Mom, does the rose gold Tesla wrap come with the bow option? I want a huge bow like Kaylee had last year." Mom turned the camera a little. I caught Maddie posing in front of the Tesla pop-up store, phone up for a selfie, duck face on full display. "Riley, listen." Mom lowered her voice like she was sharing happy gossip. "Maddie's Model Y is being delivered the morning of the 18th. White glove from Fremont, California. Only one time slot, no changes, no refunds. Your dad put the deposit down 6 months ago. You know your sister. She's been dreaming about this car since junior year." My heart dropped straight down to my coffee-stained security shoes. "So, what does that mean?" "I mean your dad and I can't make graduation, sweetheart." She said it as lightly as announcing rain tomorrow. "But you're grown, you're so independent, just take the bus like always or call an Uber. Black, I'll Venmo you. After the ceremony, come straight home, we'll have a little party, take pics with Maddie's car, grab Whataburger, it'll be so fun." Maddie poked her face into frame, fresh beach waves, bouncing, grinning ear to ear. "Big sis, you're gonna love this car. It's rose gold, it's literally to die for." I couldn't speak. My throat closed like someone had shoved that entire peanut butter sandwich down it. "Riley. You still there?" "Hello." Mom waved at the camera. I ended the call. Screen went black. Then I hurled the phone straight at the library's brick wall. The throw was so hard the OtterBox cracked the iPhone 12 screen, spider-webbed. It hit the concrete floor with a dry, bone-breaking smack. I collapsed into the chair, hands over my head. The AC suddenly sounded like screaming. The fluorescents flickered like they were laughing. For the first time since I was 14, the year I biked 12 miles to take the SAT because my parents were at Maddie's national cheer competition, I cried. Not quiet crying. Full-on ugly sobbing tears, streaming snot running onto my security hoodie. I bit my fist so I wouldn't scream in the empty library. My shoulders shook like I was being electrocuted. I cried for 4 years of 3 hours of sleep for nights on security patrol while my classmates raged on 6th Street for the $39.99 burnt orange dress I secretly bought at TJ Maxx to wear under my gown that now felt ridiculous. I really thought May 18th would be the day they finally had to look at me. Had to see me. Turns out they were busy, waiting for a car. I wiped my face with my filthy sleeve, picked up the shattered phone, the screen still faintly glowing. My lock screen was still that sunset photo of the UT Tower from freshman year, back when I was naive enough to believe hard work would change everything. I whispered into the dead silent library. Fine, y'all stay home with the damn Tesla. I'll walk across that stage alone. And one day, you'll wish you'd chosen me. Then I turned off the sixth-floor lights, locked the door, and walked down the long echoing hallway. My footsteps rang out steady on the old vinyl floor like war drums announcing the fight had finally started. I got into UT, Austin as a presidential scholar, the kind everyone slaps you on the back for and says, "You did it, Riley." In reality, it only covered $9,200 a year in tuition. The rest housing, books, food, health insurance, lab fees, tech fees came to $28,400 a year. That was my problem. My parents sent $150 a month with a text that said, "For groceries, honey. Enough for HEB ramen and the cheapest tampons." First week of freshman year I signed up for student security at university housing. Night shift 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Jester West, the biggest dorm in America, 14 floors, 3,200 students. Navy uniform, black shoes, flashlight, radio. Pay was $12.75 an hour, paid weekly cash. I loved that job because it gave me a desk, a chair, and 10 black and white cameras to watch the whole world sleep while I studied. 10 p.m. I clocked in. Walked every floor, locked side doors, logged everything. 11 p.m. The building went quiet. I sat at the first floor desk, opened my 2017 MacBook Air I bought used from a senior for $320. Camera feeds flickered in picture one tiny corner of the screen while the rest was marketing 301 slides or a code editor. I studied until my eyes burned, passed out face first on the desk for exactly 18 minutes, woke up to the radio crackling, Unit 42 Wellness Check, Room 812. Repeat. Every single night. 5:50 a.m. I clocked out, sprinted to the bike rack, pedaled like hell to the Starbucks on 21st and Guadalupe. 6 a.m. I was already in the green apron, smiling. "Welcome to Starbucks, what can I get started for you?" while my eyelids drooped. Pulled perfect latte art hearts for hungover students, hands shaking from caffeine and sleep debt. 9 a.m. Shift ended, I jogged across the drag to my 10 a.m. class, still wearing the Starbucks shirt under my Longhorns hoodie. Tuesdays and Thursdays I had an unpaid internship in East Austin at a tiny agency called Lone Star Creative, second floor of an old warehouse on East 6th. The owner, Louise, was kind but perpetually broke. I brewed coffee, scanned receipts, organized files, then stayed until 9 or 10 p.m., teaching myself on the office's 27-inch iMac, the only Retina screen I'd ever touched. I torrented Udemy courses on Facebook ads, learned Photoshop from 480p YouTube tutorials, redesigned logos for the Mexican donut shop on the corner just to hear the owner say, "Que bonito, mija." Money was always short. Some weeks I ate nothing but 3 Marucan ramens a day plus free hot sauce from the dining hall. I knew exactly which vending machines in Jester would jam and give you a free bag of Skittles if you shook them right. I donated plasma twice a week at BioLife, $75 a pop, enough for my phone bill. And then there were Friday nights when campus reeked of tequila and weed, and I sat in the Jester control room, fake AirPods in, watching security cameras while my classmates raged at Cain and Abel's. I opened Instagram. Maddie's story popped up. She was in Cabo on a yacht, neon Frankie's bikini caption, "Senior trip, living my best life, love my fam." Next story, Coachella, sparkly Mickey ears, surrounded by influencers, #number Harper sisters, even though I was never invited. I sat there, stomach growling, holding a half-eaten pack of yesterday's ramen, fish sauce stains spreading across the control desk. Camera 7 blinked, a couple making out on the 12th floor stairs. I watched them and wondered if I'd ever get to live like that. Some 3 a.m., shifts, I'd fall asleep, head smashing the keyboard, wake up to discover I'd just emailed a professor, asked JDH Vaskash DF Kios DF. I cried right there at the desk. No one saw. Only 10 black and white cameras witnessed it. Junior year I almost dropped out. Finals week December, I pulled 36 straight hours, finished my finance exam at 8 p.m., and collapsed in the Gregory gym hallway. A classmate found me, called EMS. Blood pressure 90/50, IV fluids, the medic told me. "You can't keep doing this to yourself." I went back to the dorm, lay on my top bunk staring at the ceiling, and for the first time thought about calling my parents for help. I dialed. Mom picked up laughing. "Riley, Maddie just got named head cheerleader, next year we're celebrating at Oasis." I froze. "Never mind, Mom. Just saying hi." I hung up, deleted the number, and was back at the security desk by 10 p.m., like nothing happened. 4 years. 1,460 days. I lived like a zombie, but the kind of zombie who could pull perfect espresso shots and knew exactly what she was building out of the ashes. I never quit. Because I had nowhere to go home to. May 18, 7:12 a.m., Austin already felt like an oven. Temperature 88 degrees Fahrenheit and the sun had barely cleared the UT Tower. I stood in front of the communal bathroom mirror on Jester West 10th floor, wearing the $39.99 burnt orange wrap dress I'd bought on sale at TJ Maxx North Lamar. Soft fabric just past the knee, V-neck tie at the waist, the first thing I'd ever bought just because it was pretty, not because it was cheap. Over it, the black polyester gown cap dangling with its orange and white tassel. Low ponytail, a little leftover mascara from last year, tiny Texas-shaped earrings I'd made myself on the cricket sophomore year. I looked beautiful. For the first time I dared to think it. I walked out to the drag, sun blinding. The area in front of the tower was already packed. Families in burnt orange balloons, glittery, class of 2024 signs. I weaved through the crowd, found an empty spot near the sundial. Propped my phone on an old Starbucks cup, set a 10-second timer, posed, and smiled the smile I'd practiced in the mirror all week. Took 7 photos. Not one had parents in it. That was fine. I still posted to my private Instagram, 112 followers, I did it. All by myself. Number, Hook M. 830 AM. I lined up with the McCombs School of Business, PA announcements, drumline, Texas fight, blasting from the band. I scanned the stands for the seats I'd marked on the tickets. Section 104, row 32 seats, 914. 6 empty seats. Not a single familiar face. I closed my eyes, breathed deep, then smiled at the kid next to me. I didn't even know his real name. Ceremony started at 9 sharp. Intros, national anthem, president's speech. I barely heard it, eyes glued to the stands. Still empty. When the student body president announced, "Please welcome the class of 2024," the entire Frank Irwin Center erupted. I walked across the stage, shook the president's hand, took the fake diploma tube, real one mailed, later posed for the burnt orange backdrop. Camera flashes non-stop. I smiled until my cheeks locked. Down in the audience, families screamed. "We love you, Jordan, that's my baby," I heard one mom sobbing when her son got his engineering degree. I looked down at my own hands, empty, except for the cardboard tube and a $6 sunflower I'd bought at H-E-B at 6 a.m. Ceremony ended at 1:15. Everyone flooded the parking lots. I stood at the west exit watching the crowd thin. One classmate got a Tiffany necklace from her parents. Another guy got mobbed by cousins and lifted into a brand new white Range Rover. I saw one mom sprint to her daughter, mascara running, screaming, "I knew you could do it." I stood there, sun melting the cheap foundation off my face, sweat dripping down my back. No one ran to me. No one yelled my name. 11:42 a.m. I boarded the 803 bus one last time as a UT student. This time still in my full gown cap, crooked burnt orange dress peeking out underneath. Passengers stared. An old lady smiled. "Congratulations, honey." I nodded, took the same old seat, watched campus roll away. Past the drag, past the co-op, past the tower one last time. I didn't cry. I'd used up all my tears 2 weeks earlier. 12:20 p.m., back at Jester. Room 1018, empty. My roommate had moved out yesterday, headed to Houston with her whole family. I packed the pretty dress into my old suitcase, hung the gown on a hanger, took one last photo, then folded it neatly into a donation box. I dragged the suitcase, backpack, and a black trash bag containing my entire 4 college years. No one walked me out. No one asked where I was going. I waited at the Jester bus stop for the number 7 to South Congress. I was not going back to Westlake Hills. I decided the night I threw my phone at the wall today, I officially had no home to go back to. The bus came. I hauled my suitcase up the steps, found a seat near the back. The driver, an older black man with a silver beard, looked at me, looked at the crumpled gown in my arms, and smiled. "Congrats, kid. You made it." I nodded, sat down, watched campus disappear as the bus pulled away. For the first time in my life, I felt strangely weightless. No more waiting for someone to choose me. I opened my phone, still spiderwebbed, went to mom's TikTok. Newest video, Maddie behind the wheel of the rose gold Tesla Giant, red bow caption, "Best. Graduation." gift ever. Thank you mommy, daddy. 1.2 million views. I turned off notifications, blocked every family account, and stared out the window. Austin rolled by 6th Street, the Colorado River, the bridges, the roads leading to a future I was going to build myself. The bus reached the end of the line. I dragged my suitcase down, stood on the scorching sidewalk, May sun beating down. I took a deep breath, exhaust and crepe myrtle in the air. I had graduated. Alone. Completely alone. And it was the best day of my life. After graduation, I didn't go back to Westlake Hills. I dragged my suitcase down South Congress, booked an Airbnb for $68 a night with my last plasma money. 3 days later, I found a real place, a 10x15 corner of an old garage on East 6th and Comal in the part of East Austin that was coming up but still full of abandoned warehouses and the smell of barbecue. The landlord was an old welder named Ray who rented it for $450 a month, utilities separate. Damp earth smell, water-stained walls, cracked concrete floor, rainwater poured through the door gap every storm. I paid 3 months up front, $1,350 cash, leaving exactly $2,887.42 inches my checking account. That was every dime I owned in the world. I named the company Longshot Studio. Logo was a bold orange arrow piercing a stylized L drawn on Canva at 3 a.m. I printed 500 business cards on thick 16-pint stock at FedEx office on Riverside, $78. Address printed 1,711 E 6th St. Unit B, Austin TX 78702. Sounded way fancier than the actual garage. First client came completely by accident. I was sitting on a $30 camping chair from Academy Sports eating my 3rd pack of ramen that day when someone knocked on the metal door. An older woman, sun-baked skin apron covered in BBQ sauce. Gloria, owner of Gloria's Oak Smoked BBQ 2 blocks over. Family joint, 38 years strong, best brisket in East Austin, but about to close because nobody can find us on Google anymore. Her website was from the Obama years. She didn't even know her Facebook password. You do advertising, Mija? She asked, holding one of the business cards I'd been handing out at a little weekend market. I just started the company, Miss Gloria. You do it for me, I ain't got money to pay up front. I looked at my cold ramen, then at her. I'll do the first 30 days free. If revenue doesn't go up, you owe nothing. I just want all the brisket I can eat. She laughed so hard her eyes disappeared. Deal. The next 30 days were hell and heaven at once. I slept on an air mattress from Walmart on the concrete floor. Up at 5 a.m. Biked to Gloria's, shot photos with my cracked iPhone 12, hand-sliced brisket, smoke curling Gloria next to the ancient smoker her grandpa left her. I rewrote her entire family story, immigrated from Chihuahua in '79, 3-generation dry rub recipe, built a new Squarespace site, 12 tens, month tens. Ran $5 divided by day hyper-local ads targeting an 8-mile radius, keywords best brisket East Austin, Gloria BBQ Texas BBQ open now. Started her a TikTok, filmed 15-second ASMR knife on brisket clips, hashtags number East Austin BBQ number black-owned business. Even though she's Latina, the algorithm loved it. Day 29, I worked the counter with her from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. First a trickle of locals who saw the ads. Then food bloggers. Then one Reddit post on R divided by Austin hit 12K upvotes. By day 30 Saturday, the line wrapped around the block onto Comal. Had to order 2 extra whole cows. That month's revenue $87,408, 3 times the month before. Gloria hugged me in a cloud of smoke, stuffed $8,000 cash in my hands, and gave me a brisket-scented hug I'll never forget. Word spread like wildfire through the East Austin small business community. Next week the tamale shop owner came. Then the quinceañera dress seamstress. Then the lowrider mechanic brothers. They didn't trust the big downtown agencies and couldn't afford $10K retainers. They just needed someone who understood being buried by Google Maps. I kept doing free 30 days or nothing deals. Every win brought 3 referrals. By the end of August, I had 11 paying clients, $800 to $2,500 a month each. First real revenue, $18,400. Paid garage rent on time, bought a $59 IKEA desk, and for the first time slept on a real bed instead of concrete. I painted a little sign by hand outside the garage door, white letters on black. Longshot Studio. We help underdogs get found. Every morning I rolled up that metal door, smelled damp earth and Gloria's BBQ smoke drifting over, and I knew I'd found my new home. No infinity pool, no rose gold Tesla, just a moldy garage and a future I built from zero. That's when I really started. 18 months after opening that moldy garage door, Longshot Studio no longer fit in 10 times 15 feet. We moved to the second floor of an old red brick building on Rainey Street, Austin's hottest nightlife strip, where bars pop up overnight and Silicon Valley investors fly in on weekends to hunt deals. 4200 SQFT, huge windows overlooking the Colorado River, exposed brick black industrial pipes, and a brand new burnt orange neon sign on the balcony. Longshot. 5-year lease deposit big enough to make the bank call and ask, "Are you sure, ma'am?" I was sure. Team was 22 people, all underdogs I pulled from Craigslist, Indeed, and the East 6th Street corners. Designers fired from big agencies for not being aesthetic enough. Copywriters raised in trailer parks outside San Marcos. A social strategist who's a single mom learning to code while her kid sleeps. A self-taught developer from YouTube who writes React faster than any senior I interviewed. We paid 15% above market, no pointless meetings, and every Friday the fridge was stocked with free Lone Star. Company culture had one rule: don't be an asshole, especially to small clients. The job that put us on the national map started with 4 guys in another garage, this one in Round Rock. They built an app called Pipe Hero on-demand plumbers within 30 minutes. Simple idea, but all 4 founders were actual plumbers who couldn't talk to investors. Every big Austin agency turned them down because too niche. I met them at a Capital Factory meetup, heard the pitch and said deal. 90 days, $8K a month. No results, I refund everything and work 3 more months free. We did insane stuff. Shot a TikTok series, Plumber Reacts, the hottest founder in a tank top, explaining why your water smells like dead fish. 18 million views in 10 days. Hyperlocal ads that only showed up when someone in Austin Googled leaking pipe, 2 a.m. or toilet exploded. Landing page telling the story of the founder who used to sleep in his van because he had no customers. Free PR pitch, Texas Monthly, Austin Chronicle, and a Forbes reporter hunting blue-collar tech stories. 3 months later, Pipe Hero had 42000 plumbers signed up, 1.8 million downloads, and Home Depot called, "We want to buy you." Cash. Deal closed at $42 million, just 11 months after signing with Longshot. The Forbes article had one line: "The rocket fuel, a scrappy East Austin agency named Longshot Studio that nobody had heard of 6 months ago." My name started showing up everywhere. TechCrunch Incorporated, Fast Company, then Forbes 30 under 30. Photo shoot in LA, stylist brought a whole rack. I picked a burnt orange blazer and ripped Levi's, stood against gray seamless, hands in pockets, half smirk. December 2025 issue headline. Riley Harper, 25, Austin. The Underdog Whisperer. Longshot Studio, valuation $38M and climbing. Article opened with flash: she took the city bus to her own graduation. Now VCs take private jets to pitch her. The week the magazine dropped, I was in the Rainey office when my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Investors from San Francisco, New York, even Dubai, begging for meetings. That year's revenue hit $11.4 million, 38% profit margin. We opened satellite offices in Dallas and Nashville, but HQ stayed Austin because I wanted to see the river every morning. And then I did the thing I dreamed of since, standing at the 803 bus stop. I drove to a Ford dealership in South Austin that sells mostly to working folks. Found it in the back row, 2018 Ford Bronco 2-door, area 51, green gray, 4-inch lift, 35 BF Goodrich tires, caked in dried mud, a few battle scar scratches on the side. 68000 miles, $36,800. Paid cash, full amount wired from company to personal, no loan, no payments, nobody gifting it. I drove it straight to Rainey Street, parked right in front, posted an Instagram story. My new ride. Paid cash. Still cheaper than my little sister's graduation present. Number still took the bus number. Longshot. That post got 1.4 million views in 48 hours. All of Austin was tagging each other. Someone commented, "I'm still on the bus, y'all hiring interns?" I replied, "Send your resume. We only hire people who know the struggle." That night I drove the Bronco top off down 2,222, wind whipping my hair, Zach Bryan blasting from the JBLs. I pulled over at a lookout above downtown, sparkling below, killed the engine, sat in the dark. 25 years old. Company valued at $38 million. 22 people who call me boss but still invite me for beers like friends. Bronco I bought myself cheaper than the rose gold Tesla my parents gave Maddie. I smiled alone in the dark. Not a victory smile. The smile of someone who could finally breathe. Tuesday afternoon, November 2025. The Rainey office was loud prepping a Super Bowl pitch for a big craft beer brand. I was at the end of the long table feet up tweaking the final slide when my personal phone buzzed on the oak table. One word on the screen. Mom. 4 years. Not a single text, not a call, not even a fake happy birthday. I'd changed my number once in 2023, but she still found it, probably dug it out of some old family group chat I never left. Everyone in the room was laughing about an idea involving a golden retriever in a Longhorns jersey. I held up one finger, quiet, walked out to the balcony, overlooking Rainey. Cool Colorado River breeze. I took a deep breath and swiped answer. Riley. Oh my gosh honey, it's really you. Mom's voice, still pure Southern Belle sing-song, words lifting at the end like a melody. I wasn't sure you still had this number. I said nothing. Just listened to her breathe. Sweetheart, your daddy and I saw you on the cover of Forbes this morning. We bought 10 copies at the Barnes & Noble on 306er. Charles is showing everybody on the golf course. That's my daughter, y'all. We are just bursting with pride. Bursting with pride. 4 words I'd dreamed of hearing since I was 8. Anyway, she barreled on, no need for my response, we were thinking. It's been way too long. Maddie's grown now, almost done with school early too. We would love, absolutely love to come see your office. Maybe this Friday we can take you to dinner at Jeffrey's or Uchi, our treat. And, well, Maddie has this amazing idea for a swimwear line, very coastal, granddaughter pastel colors, super cute. She's been designing in her spare time, and, you know, with your expertise and your team, maybe you could help her launch it, just a little push. I looked down at Rainey Street. College kids taking photos in front of a bar's neon sign. I pictured Maddie sitting next to Mom in the Westlake kitchen, both staring at the $38 million valuation, eyes sparkling. Friday, I said, voice ice cold. 3 p.m. 30 minutes, I have a meeting after. Mom squealed like she'd won the lottery. Oh, perfect, we'll be there. Maddie will drive the Tesla so y'all can see how much she loves it. We are just so excited, honey, this is gonna be such a sweet family reunion. I hung up without another word. Back inside, the team stared. Sarah, my art director, the only one who knows the whole story, raised an eyebrow. Everything okay, boss? Book the big conference room Friday, 3 p.m., I said flat. And clear my calendar until 3:30. My family's coming by. Sarah opened her mouth, saw my face, closed it, and just nodded. The rest of the week I worked like a robot. 3 hours of sleep, raccoon eyes, black coffee, IV drip. I had my assistant polish the office, hang a few more awards, but no flowers or welcome cookies. I wanted them to see exactly what I built, no extra sugar. Thursday night I drove the Bronco to my new South Lamar apartment, parked, sat in the cabin, staring at the ceiling. I opened old voicemails. I'd never deleted the last one from Mom in 2021. You'll figure it out, honey. You're so independent. I listened 3 times, then permanently deleted. Friday, 2:55 p.m. I stood on the second floor balcony, black coffee in hand, watching the street. Right at 3:00, a brand new 2025 black Cadillac Escalade rolled slowly, looking for parking. Behind it, the familiar rose gold Tesla Model Y, chrome rims flashing, the giant M decal still on the back door, even though the red bow was long gone. Escalade doors opened. Dad stepped out first, more silver in his hair, bigger belly, Rolex catching the Sunday. Mom next, new blonde highlights, Hermes bag, Chanel sunglasses. Maddie, last 22, now taller than I remembered, in her red-soled Louboutins, balayage waves, pink AirPods Max around her neck like a designer dog collar, scrolling TikTok. They looked up, saw me on the balcony. Mom waved like she was filming a TikTok. Riley, honey, we're here. I didn't wave back. Just took the last sip of coffee, set the mug on the railing, and walked inside. 30 minutes. The clock had started. 3:00 p.m. sharp Friday. The glass doors of Longshot Studio swung open. 3 people walked in like they were headed to a country club wedding instead of visiting a daughter they hadn't spoken to in 4 years. Mom led the charge. Creed Aventus Femme perfume so strong the HVAC groaned. Arms wide, teeth blinding. Riley, honey, look at you all grown up and so CEO. She went for the hug. Air kiss perfume cloud. Hermes bag bumping my shoulder, then quick step back so nothing wrinkled. Dad followed. Custom gray suit, eyes scanning like he was appraising real estate. He paused on the big abstract orange and black painting on the main wall by an East Austin artist. $18K. His lips pursed, calculating. Maddie, last scrolling TikTok, barely glanced up. I stood still, hands in jeans pockets, burnt orange blazer, dirty white, Converse. No smile. Welcome to Longshot, I said, voice flat like I was pitching a client. Quick tour, I have a 330. I walked them through the open space. Staff pretended to work but everyone stole looks. Sarah in the corner made the universal cutthroat need rescue gesture. I shook my head slightly. I pointed. The awards wall. Forbes 30 under 30 Ad Age A-list Shorty Awards. The creative area with the ping pong divided by meeting table. The beer fridge with the Longshot logo. The mini TikTok studio with ring lights still on. Mahmood and ADAD nonstop. Gracious Riley, this is bigger than the Dell building. Dad just nodded, still pricing everything in his head. Maddie took stories, tagged the location, my sis office lol. Finally, we filed into the biggest glass conference room, view straight down to the river. I closed the door. Silence dropped like a blade. Dad spoke first. He set a pink leather-bound folder on the table, 60 pages, spiral-bound, professionally gold lettering. Madison Swim, coastal granddaughter luxury swimwear. Family investment opportunity. Riley, he said, full businessman voice, we're family. Maddie has vision. The luxury swimwear market is exploding. She's already connected with factories in Bali, has samples, perfect Instagram aesthetic. Just needs a little capital and execution. Mom jumped in, eyes shining, only $250K seed, honey, and 6 months of your team's time. Website ads, influencer partnerships. Maddie already has 200 micro-influencers lined up. This is a chance for the family to build something big together. Maddie finally looked up, influencer smile. I'll give you 10% equity, no biggie. I didn't speak. Just looked at them. 3 people. 1 pink folder. And the memory of 4 years ago burned crystal clear, me in my cap and gown alone at the bus stop watching their Tesla reveal video. I opened the conference table drawer, pulled out my personal checkbook, dark green, only used for private stuff. Flipped to a blank check, set it down. All 3 leaned forward, eyes lighting up when they saw the pen. To keep it fair, I said, voice quiet but sharp, if we're talking family investment, we settle the original capital first. I wrote slowly, every letter deliberate. Date the 17th of November 2025. Pay to the order of Grant and Lauren Harper. Amount $1.72. $1.72. Memo bus fare, Capital Metro Route 803, il 18 maggio 2021, paid in full. I signed with a slash of a signature, then tore the checkout rope loud in the dead silent room. I slid it across the table. It glided over polished walnut and stopped right in front of Dad's hand. There, I said, looking him dead in the eye for the first time. $1.72 is the exact Capital Metro fare for the 18th of May 2021, the day I graduated and y'all were busy taking delivery of Maddie's Tesla. I looked it up in old records, to be precise. That repays every cent, financial, emotional time, y'all ever invested in me. We're square. Dad's face went from pink to purple. His hand trembled, holding the check paper, rattling. Mom's mouth fell open, instant tears this time, not the happy kind. Riley. Honey. This is ridiculous. Maddie rolled her eyes, smirked, such a drama queen. I stood up, taller than all of them, even in flat shoes. My voice so cold I barely recognized it. No drama. Just clean books. You want $250K and 6 months of my team to launch Maddie's brand. Doors that way. Out, right down the stairs, into your cars, back to Westlake. Don't come back. Dad shot up, chair rolling back and banging the glass wall. He pointed, face crimson. After everything what I cut him off. Everything, like ditching me at the bus stop for a car. Everything, like missing my graduation for white glove delivery. everything like 4 years of silence until y'all saw $38 million on a Forbes cover. Silence. Just the hum of the AC and my heartbeat in my ears. Mom sobbed, dabbing mascara with a tissue. Maddie went back to her phone like the room wasn't worth breathing in. Dad crushed the $1.72 check in his fist until it crumpled, then let it fall like a dead leaf. He turned open the glass door. Mom stumbled after, dragging Maddie, who was live streaming something on her phone. As they reached the door, I called out just loud enough. "Oh, and say hi to the rose gold Tesla for me. She's still gorgeous." Door closed. The click-clack of Mom's heels faded on the hardwood. The conference room went graveyard quiet. I sat back down, looked at the pink business plan still sitting there. Picked it up, flipped through once, then dropped it neatly into the trash. Sarah burst in eyes huge. "Holy shit, boss. You okay?" I exhaled the longest breath of the last 4 years, like I'd just dropped a 50-pound backpack. "Get the team back in here," I said, smiling for real. "We've got a Super Bowl to win." The week after I kicked my family out, I thought I'd be flying. Team popped $300 champagne, posted stories. Boss just went full legend, new clients calling nonstop, VCs from New York sending flowers, and let's grab coffee code for we want to give you more money. Austin media crowned me the ice-cold queen of Rainey Street. I smiled in every photo, nailed every interview, got home at 2 a.m., editing Series B decks. But every night, when I turned off the lights in my new South Lamar penthouse, I felt hollow. The apartment was gorgeous, white oak floors, sub-zero kitchen, downtown views sparkling. I lay on the biggest IKEA bed money could buy, stared at the dark ceiling, and the hole in my chest was still the exact size of a family that never showed up to the stands on the 18th of May 2021. I started drinking more. Not drunk, just enough to sleep. Top shelf tequila, 1 glass before bed, then 2, then whole bottles of Casamigos rolling under the bed. I avoided my own eyes in the bathroom mirror because they looked exactly like the girl at the bus stop 4 years ago, only now in expensive clothes. One Thursday at 3 a.m. I woke from a nightmare. I was back in my cap and gown alone in front of the tower, but this time no one clapped when I walked the stage. I bolted upright, sweating, heart racing. Opened my laptop, scrolled mindlessly, stopped on an old folder. First clients, 2021. First photo, me and Gloria from the BBQ joint, both covered in sauce, arms around each other, grinning because we'd just sold 400 pounds of brisket in one weekend. She was squeezing my shoulder, eyes full of real joy. Caption I wrote that day. First paycheck ever earned. $8,000 cash plus 1 smoky hug. Worth more than any trust fund. I stared at that photo a long time. I remembered Gloria stuffing the envelope in my hand and saying, "You saved my whole family, Mija. My grandpa in heaven is crying proud right now." I remembered crying in the corner of that damp garage, not for the money but because for the first time someone actually needed me. I kept scrolling: the lowrider mechanic, the Tamale lady, the laundromat owner I saved from bankruptcy with $11 divided by day ads. Every single one had the same look, the look of someone pulled from drowning. And I realized the hole in my chest wasn't because my family never loved me. The hole was because I'd spent 4 years proving I didn't need them, and once I proved it, I didn't know what to do next. The $1.72 check, revenge, tasted great. But it didn't fill anything. It just made the hole deeper. I got up, turned on the kitchen light, poured a glass of water, sat on the cold floor. Looked out the window at the Frostbank Tower blinking orange and white UT colors. Then I remembered the hundreds of weekly emails from students I'm paying my own way to. My family doesn't support me, any advice? I'd never answered them all. Too busy building the company, proving, getting revenge. At 4:12 a.m. that morning I knew what came next. Not to show them anymore. Not for them to see. But so no one else ever has to stand alone at the graduation bus stop. I opened my laptop, created a new file, typed the first line. Burnt Orange Scholarship Foundation. For students who have to take the damn bus so they never have to again. I didn't sleep again that night. I wrote the plan, called lawyers, accountants, banks. I put in $15 million of my own money as seed. Built a board of people who'd pulled themselves up exactly like me, a single mom turned startup CFO, a college dropout now Google engineer, a woman who slept in her car to finish school and now owns a killer Mexican restaurant on East Cesar Chavez. We didn't want to be just another scholarship. We wanted to be a whole damn lifeline. The scholarship covers 100% tuition plus housing plus books plus health insurance. $1,200 divided by month living stipend enough to never work night security again. $5,000 divided by year emergency fund, no questions asked. Car breaks, tooth hurts, mom's sick, whatever. Most important, every kid gets a real mentor, not 30-minute Zoom calls, but someone who will answer the 2 a.m. I'm about to drop out text. First year, we opened applications and got 4127 from across the country. I printed every single one, filled 2 conference rooms, locked the doors and read them myself all summer. Stayed up until dawn, black coffee, cried alone over stories that sounded exactly like mine. The first kid I called was Sofia Garcia, 18, San Antonio. Mexican-American, top of her high school, wants to study engineering at UT. Family told her, girls like us don't need college, go work at HEB, you'll make money faster. She applied anyway, parents found out, kicked her out. She was couch surfing, working night cashier, sleeping in her 2003 Honda Civic. I called at 9 p.m., Sophia picked up exhausted, sitting in the Walmart parking lot, neon lights on her face. Hi, this is Riley from Burnt Orange. She froze. Did I get the wrong number? No baby. I read your app. I'm calling to tell you you're getting the full ride. I want you in Austin this August. And I'm going to be your mentor. Silence. Then gut-wrenching sobs through her car speakers. I have nobody. I'm so scared. I was crying too. I know. I was you. Now you've got a whole team behind you. You're not doing this alone anymore. That year we picked the first 38 kids. I flew out, met every single one at the airport, hugged them at arrivals, bought them new suitcases, took them to their first Whataburger in Austin. Watched them put on Burnt Orange for the first time, eyes shining, and the hole in my chest started healing little by little. 4 years passed in a blink. Burnt Orange has now awarded 312 full-ride scholarships. We have our own office on Congress Avenue, 18 full-time staff, and hundreds of alumni out in the world, engineers, doctors, founders, who come back to mentor the new ones. On the 15th of October 2029, I was driving the Bronco north on I-35 out of Dallas after a work trip. Cool October wind, top down. I looked up and almost slammed the brakes on the highway. A masyve 14,48 billboard just pas Trundberg. Sofia Garcia, in her UT graduation gown, beaming, holding her engineering degree. White letters on burnt orange background. You don't need them to believe in you. Burnt Orange Scholarship Foundation. Ride with us. I pulled over, took a photo, posted it to my story. Caption just one word. Full circle. That night my phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Photo of my mom standing underneath that exact billboard, cardigan, more silver in her hair, pointing up at the words. Message. We really are proud, Riley. Love, Mom. I stared at the photo a long time. Mom tiny beneath the giant image of Sophia and hundreds of other kids. No hashtags, no filters, no emojis. I typed back. I know. But I did it without y'all. And honestly, that feels better. Sent. Turned the phone off. I climbed back into the Bronco, dropped the top, gunned it toward downtown. Zach Bryan cranked something in the orange, blasting across the Texas highway. Wind whipped my hair wild, late afternoon sun burning orange on the windshield. For the first time in my life I smiled, not a victory smile, not a prove it smile, but the soft, quiet smile of real peace. I was finally home. And home wasn't Westlake Hills anymore. Home was an entire generation. I pulled up from the bus stop. Hook 'em forever,